I think like most people who lose their hair, I started to feel a little bit anxious. I think what made it worse for me was that I was so young. I think I was probably about 19 when I first started losing my hair. Started thinning out a little bit, then I started receding. And being a young lad, when all your mates are going out, styling their hair, doing this, that and the other, you know, it does start to affect your self-esteem a little bit. And I definitely felt my confidence drop from kind of the age of 19 to, well, from 19 onwards really. It really started to become an issue when I went to university quite late. I went to university at 21. So at this stage it was very clear that I was losing my hair. I was like trying comb-overs, do these terrible styles of hair, just try and cover it up when it was, you know, it was blatantly obvious really. So that was probably a difficult time for me, yeah. But like I say, it was mainly just a lack of confidence and a lack of self-esteem. Up until I started to lose my hair, I was always very outgoing, very social. You know, I always had girlfriends, I'd always be really confident. And then I started to get less and less. And I started to become a little bit of a social recluse. Once I'd finished university especially, when it had pretty much just gone, I started to become very introvert. And I wanted to get back to being my old self, so I wanted to try and see if there was a long-term, permanent sort of solution to the problem. From, I think, 21, I started using like a mousse cream, I can't remember the name. The idea is that it stops hair loss and then can promote hair growth as well. I probably used that for about 2 years. Initially, I felt like it maybe was working to prevent any more hair loss, but I think realistically that was just, I wanted it to work so bad that I tried in my own head, I'd filled myself that it was. But then after a while you soon realise that it's not reversing it, so I just gave up on that. But yeah, it looks pretty good. I'm thinking, well, I'll go and look at the reviews because anyone can fix a video. But the reviews were all great, you know, everyone was saying they're really good, so I thought I need to go and check them out. I sent an email, got a really quick response, and then the sort of assessment, if you like, was set up really quickly. I had a little bit of a laugh and a joke, I think, as well, which really put me at ease. It's very professional, but they're very friendly at the same time, so you know you're going to a good organisation, but you also feel comfortable as soon as you walk through the door. You have a coffee and a chat, and it's really easy going. Yeah, my consultation was at the Manchester clinic. Like I say, staff great, really good setup. It is kind of out the way, but it's easy to find. It's a perfect location really, to be honest. When I first sent my email off expressing interest, they send you back a mock-up photo of what you would look like with the treatment. I was really impressed by that. I was interested anyway from the videos and the pictures online and all the reviews, etc. But seeing the mock-up, you really start to think, you know, that is actually what it could look like. So that helps just push you that little bit more towards going and have the consultation. I think that the mock-up, along with going into the consultation and actually seeing someone who's had the treatment, I definitely wasn't meeting any new people. I'd wear a hat all the time. Then once I got it done, I started going out a little bit more, meeting new people. I went and worked away for a while, you know, met loads of new people who had absolutely no idea that I had the treatment done. You actually get, you know, people complimenting you on your hairline, say it looks sharp, this, that and the other, which really, again, you're feeling more confident anyway in yourself, and then when people are saying things like that to you, it just makes you feel great. Feedback's quite strange actually, because there's a couple of people who I told I was having it done, obviously they knew, and they said, yeah, looks great, you'd never be able to tell, etc. But people who I didn't tell, they just don't seem to, they haven't said anything really. It was weird though, because you'd get jokes as people do and lose their hair, like people start making jokes about, I don't think they mean any harm, but it affects you. And they just stopped. It was weird. It's hard to explain, to be honest. People just seem to forget that you were bald, I think. It's a strange one. A few months before I had the treatment done, I split up from a long-term girlfriend. I think a large part of that was because my lack of confidence and not wanting to go out and do things, she got frustrated with that. I don't think it was necessarily the fact that I was losing my hair, but as a result of me losing my hair, it affected me, which then affected the relationship. But since I've had it done, like I said, I went away for a little while, I met a girl because I was back to being myself, and now, you know, we're in a happy relationship. I would definitely recommend Skalp. I think anyone who's got any questions about it, they just need to go on the website, check out the videos and the reviews, book yourself in for a consultation, because I promise you, you won't regret it. I feel so much better in myself after having the treatment done. I'm like a different person, full of confidence, outgoing. I can't speak highly enough, honestly. I'd suggest it to anybody.